the Train is directed by Tate Taylor and it stars Emily Blunt, and it is about a girl who commutes on this train every single day. She lives a very sad life. She's recently divorced, she's struggling with alcoholism, and every day she looks out the window of this train and makes up stories about the people that she sees, and she lives vicariously through them. That is until one day she witnesses something that she can't quite remember clearly, so she tries to piece together what exactly had happened on that day, and if she maybe is responsible for the disappearance of someone that she cares about. As I said, this movie does star Emily Blunt, and in my opinion, she's one of the best actresses out there right now. I really love good noir films. I like really good thrillers that you just try to piece together this puzzle in your mind, and you're trying to cross off maybe he did it, maybe she did it, who is everybody talking to, whose fingers are in the pot, and it's just a really exciting, thrilling story, whodunit if you will. Let's get out of the way the things that I really liked about this movie. The performances across the board are terrific. Once again, Emily Blunt totally brings it as just this broken and distraught young woman who isn't always the most likable character. But what's interesting about her character is that she is struggling with this alcoholism, so she's drunk a lot of this movie, and so she's not always the most reliable narrator, and the things that you're seeing through her eyes maybe isn't always the truth. Not only is Emily Blunt great in this movie, but Rebecca Ferguson, Haley Bennett, everyone across the board gives a really terrific performance. Probably a better performance than this movie deserves, because unfortunately, that's all this film really has going for it. The Girl on the Train is a dull, tedious, just tiring story that by the time it gets interesting, you're already so far checked out, because you checked out like yesterday. Because by far the biggest problem that this movie has is its pacing. This is one boring ass movie. And what's supposed to make these stories so thrilling is the mystery. You're supposed to be sitting there and kind of crossing off this mental checklist that you have and being like, oh, if maybe he talked to this guy, well then she couldn't have been there because she was there at this time, or maybe he did this because he talked to this person. You're going through your mind trying to piece together this puzzle. That's not so fun when this is the easiest mystery to solve in like the history of anything. Within like 30 minutes of this 2-hour-long movie, I was like, oh, they probably did it. Yeah, they did. So like the remaining time that you have of this movie, you're kind of just like, let's go, let's move it along, come on, let's get snappy here, like, come on, I have stuff to do, let's keep it moving. But it's one thing to be predictable. There's plenty of movies out there that are predictable, that you really know what's going to happen at the end, but you still enjoy the ride. But what's frustrating about this movie is the revelation that these characters come to and the big twist. It's not even interesting. And some of the character motivations and some of the reasons that they're doing what they're doing is so stupid, and it's just so contrived, and it's made just to serve as a plot device. And nothing happens in this movie. I feel like if you were to ask somebody, hey, explain the Girl on the Train from A to B to C, they'd be like, yeah, sure. Well, first she rides the train, and then she sees the thing, and then she talks to the cops, and then she talks to that lady, and then she talks to that guy, and then she talks to that other guy, and then she figures it out and the movie's over. When in all actuality, we're kind of mentally blocking out all of the fluff and all of the filler and all of just the boring moments when this is a 2-hour-long movie of nothing happening. This movie has a very long beginning and then it has an end. There's really no middle ground and there's really no escalation of plot. It's just a series of events happening and then a revelation happens and then the movie ends. Also, this is a very lifeless looking movie because there's really no stylistic flair to any of it. And the director also made a weird decision to slow down the frame rate at times, which if you don't know what that means, I'll show you. This is what low frame rate is. The director chose to do it about 3 or 4 times, and it was really distracting and really just ugly. It's a weird substitution for slow motion, and it's not really slow motion, it's kind of slow motion after the fact. And something else that just bugged me about this movie, and it's not just this movie, lots of movies nowadays do it, especially adaptations from novels, but the film starts off with narration, and then it just stops doing narration. And that's because movies like this don't know how to convey what they're seeing on screen without using words. Because I don't mind narration when it's movies like The Wolf of Wall Street and it narrates the entire film from beginning to end, but it's movies like this that start off with narration just to kind of fill us in on what's happening, and then it gets us up to speed and then it stops narrating. It's very lazy, and it's just because they don't know how to cue us into what's going on. All in all, this movie was chock full of great performances, but the fact that the story is so unbelievably predictable really makes this movie the already poor pacing even worse. And it's movies like this that you're supposed to want to rewatch to try to see how the big twist fits into the rest of the movie. But this film is so boring that you're not going to want to watch it again. I definitely feel like this has disappointed a lot of people that read the book because this was a very popular book. It sold a lot of copies. People thought this was going to be like the next Gone Girl. I personally did not like it even a fraction that I liked Gone Girl, and I really can't send you to go see this in the theater, at your home, on the toilet. I wouldn't see it at all because it's very, very, very boring. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie-related things. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.